Jai Gurudev. Today's Yoga Vasistha is one of the most amazing pages that you would read in Yoga Vasistha. I hope you've done the homework, you've read page 97. We'll move on to page 98 now. Page 98 addresses, you remember those 3 states of consciousness session we've done? What are the 3 states of consciousness? Jagrata Avastha, Swapna Avastha and Sushupti. You remember these 3? Yes. And there was a 4th state of consciousness after that, Turiya Avastha. You remember? So this page addresses this journey, how you after death you reach a state where you are very close to that window of liberation, that Turiya Avastha. Yes? You reach almost at the door of Turiya, but because of past impressions and because you're so lost in Sushupti or not aware, that you start descending again back into the Maya. These 2 pages are like the highlights of Yoga Vasistha. They will actually tell you how you descend and how you ascend back to Turiya, the door of Turiya. Yes? So, be very attentive and very, very sincere while these 2 pages are being read. Yeah? So, we'll begin. We'll ask Aditya to read page 98. Today we will begin with the Sanskrit Sutra itself.
Bija Jagrat, Tatha Jagran, Mahajagrat, Tathaiva cha, Jagrat Swapnas, Tatha Swapna, Swapna Jagrat, Sushuptakam, Iti Sapta Vido Moha, Punareva Parasparam. Vasistha continued. I myself was a witness to the scene in King Lavana's court, and when they wished to know who that juggler was after he abruptly disappeared from the court, I saw his identity through my subtle vision and found that he was a messenger of the gods. It is the tradition that Indra would send all sorts of afflictions to test the strength of anyone who engaged himself in that particular religious rite which Lavana was performing mentally. The hallucinations he had were the result. The rite was performed by the mind, and the hallucinations were experienced by the mind. When the same mind is thoroughly purified, you get rid of all duality and diversity which it creates.
Yes, so here he explains how purification is possible. Yeah, the rite in itself is not important. The physical action is not important. Purification happens at this level. Yes, it is very similar to karma is not created necessarily from the action that you are doing. Yes, even a doctor cuts the stomach of a person, and even a thief, a robber or a murderer cuts the stomach of a person. Both are doing the same action. Yes, where is the karma created? From the intention at the thought level. Yeah, so understand, the power of the thought is higher than the actual physical action. So far clear? Yeah. Similarly, if the thought is so powerful, mind is so powerful, purification of the thought, of the intention, yes, can get rid of all duality and diversity, because this duality and diversity is created by the mind itself, right? Yes. So if the mind itself is purified, this duality, this dvandva of I and you, or this and that, right and wrong, should be and shouldn't be, want and not want, all dvandva, yes, all duality, all created by the mind. Yeah. The moment the mind drops, duality drops. Yes. The moment the mind drops, diversity drops. Diversity is also creation of the mind. How? What is diversity? Diverse forms of Prakriti are what? Earth, water, air, space and earth, water, fire. Yeah? These are all 5 different diverse forms of the same Prakriti. That Prakriti is also the creation of the Purusha. So first step, how we came out of the pool of consciousness? With I. With the birth of the mind. I. Yes? If the mind can bring about diversity, the dissolution of this mind can take away this diversity. Clear? Yeah? Simple mathematics. Clear so far? Yeah? So, we will go ahead now. Go to the 3rd paragraph.
Rama, I have already narrated to you the process of cyclical creation after the previous cosmic dissolution, and of how one comes to entertain the false notions of I and mine. Equipped with wisdom, he who gradually ascends the 7 steps to perfection in yoga attains liberation from these. Rama asked, Holy Sir, what are the 7 steps you have referred to? Vasistha replied, O Rama, there are 7 descending steps of ignorance, and there are 7 ascending steps of wisdom. I shall now describe them to you. To remain established in self-knowledge is liberation. When this is disturbed, there arises egotism and bondage. The state of self-knowledge is that in which there is no mental agitation, neither distraction nor dullness of mind, neither egotism nor perception of diversity.
This is very beautiful, huh? Again, the last sentence we'll read again. The state of self-knowledge is that in which there is no mental agitation. Do you still get agitated mentally? Ask yourself this. There is neither distraction nor dullness of mind. What is distraction and dullness? Yeah, my graph going up, I am distracted. My graph going down towards tamas, I am dull. Yeah, rajas tamas, rajas tamas, rajas tamas. Graph going up and down, I am not in sambhava. Yeah, this is what he is referring to here. There is neither distraction nor dullness of mind. And there is neither egotism nor perception of diversity. Yeah, there is no ego. Ego says I. The moment there is I, there has to be a you. So Dvaita is created here in the mind. And the moment there is Dvaita or Dvandva, I and you, there is diversity. Yeah. So highlight this. What is the state of self-knowledge? How will you know whether you are in a state of self-knowledge or are you in a state of ego? This is like a milestone. It will tell you whether you have progressed or not. Self-knowledge is that in which there is no mental agitation, no distraction, nor dullness. There is just sambhava and there is no egotism, no I, no you. So there is no diversity. Clear? Yeah, very beautifully put, na? Yoga Vasistha is one of the most beautifully put scriptures. We'll go to the last paragraph of this page. It is the most important paragraph. Yeah. So we will all pay attention now.
The delusion that veils this self-knowledge is 7-fold. Seed state of wakefulness, great wakefulness, wakeful dream wakefulness and sleep. In pure consciousness, when mind and jiva exist only in name, it is the seed state of wakefulness. When the notions of I and this arise, it is known as wakefulness. When these notions get strengthened by the memory of previous incarnations, it is great wakefulness. When the mind is fully awake to its own fancies and is filled with them, it is wakeful dream. The false notions of experiences during sleep, which yet appear to be real, are dreams. In the dream wakeful state, one recalls past experiences as if they are real now. When these are abandoned in favor of total inert dullness, it is sleep. These 7 have their own innumerable subdivisions.
Now understand, what is he talking about here? He's talking about the 7 descending steps of ignorance. How the soul gets trapped in this Maya. Yeah? And 7 descending steps he's talking about. Descending from where? Tell me. Perfect. From the door of Turiya. So let's look at it. In a little more detail. Here I have your chart of the 7 descending steps. Yeah. 7 descending steps of ignorance or Maya. Yeah. Now, at death, what happens to this body? It drops off. Just like you have thrown off your clothes. For a few moments, for a jnani, a wise one, you are stuck in that world. You're not ready to let go of the body and the people around. For a wise one, these moments are not too long. Within a couple of hours, you can move away. For some people who are very stuck in raga and dvesha, of the world, it takes up till 12 days, till you can move away. What happens after these 12 days? After these 12 days, the soul comes closer to the light, which is Turiya Vasistha. Yeah? Remember, I talk about the window of liberation. I keep talking about the window of liberation. Yes? What is this window? That moment where you can let go of all raga and dvesha and move away from this cycle of birth and death. Only somebody who is really aware, 100% aware at death. Yes? Listen to this carefully. Somebody who is aware at death, 100% aware, not lost in sushupti. Only he can move towards the window of liberation. Yeah? So, what happens to those people who are not aware? What happens to them? Yeah? They start descending towards this Maya or ignorance again. So what happened to us all in this birth? Before we took this body, this present body, what happened? That is the 7 descending steps of ignorance or Maya. Let's start with first. The first one is called the seed of wakefulness. Yeah. Here there is the potentiality for you to move towards Turiya Avastha. Yeah. So how is the state? The mind and jiva exist only in name. Yes. There is the potentiality of you to move away from this birth or death. But that happens only if you are 100% aware. Now this wakefulness is not talking about awareness. This wakefulness is wakefulness to this Maya and getting lost in the Maya. Yeah. So, because the seed of getting lost in this Maya exists at this state, somebody who is not in jnana and not aware at the point of death, he starts descending. He comes from this to the second step. Yeah. This may or may not happen at the point of birth. Yeah. And the second step, what happens? There is wakefulness to this Maya, to this ignorance. Yeah. There is the formation in the mind. Mind takes birth. Remember, in the first, mind is only in the name form, it is existing. At the second step, what happens? I arises. I. The moment there is I, what is born? You. This I and you is nothing but the birth of Dvandva. Yes? This may or may not happen at birth, like I told you. Then what happens? Slowly, there is great wakefulness to this Maya, to this ignorance. It is strengthened by memory. What memory are we talking here? Beautiful. The memory of the past life, the past incarnations. My karma bag has all these impressions from my past life. That is why it is said that a baby who is born remembers his past life till about the age of 2 or 3 years. Yeah? So this starts getting strengthened by that memory. Yeah? So Maya falls in again. It gets strengthened. Yeah? Slowly what happens? You move into wakeful dream. Yes? You are going deeper and deeper into the dream state. Now understand this. Yeah? It's just like in the night you are lying down on the bed and going to sleep. Sleep is happening in stages. Yes? So now your dream is starting here. There is a wakeful dream. The mind awakens to fancies. Yeah? All fancies start happening at a very early age when you're just 3 or 4. This toy, that thing, mama, daddy, yeah, all these start happening at that age. The possessiveness starts coming up. Ego comes up. Oh, if I cry, I get this. Yeah? If I am quiet, I do not get it. All these subtle things start happening, yeah, when this wakeful dream state starts. It can happen at different ages. I am just throwing out examples here, just to help understand. So, mind starts awakening to fancies. Next comes the dream state. All false notions appear real. Yeah? This is where your mind is completely drowned in Maya. Everything starts appearing real to you. And at this state it is said that you forget completely your past lives. Yes, it's completely kind of erased. A delete button gets pressed and it gets cut off from memory. You cannot remember your past. You start thinking everything, mummy, daddy, friends, whatever, relations, the house, everything is real. The baby is growing up now. My toy is real. Yeah? This notion becomes very, very strong that everything is real. It is not a dream. Yeah? Then you slowly move on to dream wakefulness, where one starts recalling the past as if real. You start remembering your past 2-3 years with mummy, daddy. You start going to nursery school, or KG, kindergarten, or first class, and you start thinking, oh, this is all real. And then you start remembering, oh, mummy said this, daddy said this did not happen. All this recall starts happening. Yeah. In some people it starts happening very late, like I said, at nursery and kindergarten. In some kids it starts happening very early. It doesn't matter the age, I am just giving you examples. Yeah? So this is where you are going very deep into this Maya, this ignorance. And finally it is said that at stage 7 there is total inert dullness. You are in deep sleep. Yeah? So we get lost in this Maya, in this world of ignorance, and we are asleep. Yeah? People situations, things start affecting us, raga and dvesha develops towards these people, situations and things. Yes, we lose complete awareness and we get lost in the emotion created by these people, situations and things that I am stuck in. Yeah? There begins the main problem in life. Yeah? There begins bondage. Only when somebody comes to this knowledge or finds a guru like our Guruji, Sri Ravi Shankar, or falls upon some spiritual knowledge, or there is an inner awakening, does he move out of the sleep state. Otherwise, for lifetimes people are just in sleep. They continue just descending these steps of ignorance lifetime after lifetime. Yeah. So you are very lucky. You are blessed that you came upon this knowledge, that you found Gurudev. Yeah. That he is there to hold your hand, to take care of you. Yeah. You are very, very lucky and really blessed. These 7 steps are clear, the 7 descending steps of ignorance or Maya. Yeah. I'm sure you're going to have many questions today. So if you do, please feel free to send me an email asking me the question. I will respond to the entire group. Yeah. So now, if you don't have questions, we'll move on to the next page. Yeah. The next page is talking about the 7 ascending steps of wisdom. Yeah. These are the 7 ascending steps of wisdom. So let's read that first and then we'll talk more in detail.
Jnana bhumihi shubhechhakhya prathama samudartha vicharana dvitiya tu tritya tanumanasa satvapaktis chaturthi syat tato sansaktinamika padartha bhavani sashti saptimi tulyaga smrita. Vasistha continued, I shall now describe to you, O Rama, the 7 states or planes of wisdom. Knowing them, you will not be caught in delusion. Pure wish or intention is the first. Inquiry is the second. The third is when the mind becomes subtle. Establishment in truth is the fourth. Total freedom from attachment or bondage is the fifth. The sixth is cessation of objectivity, and the 7th is beyond all these.
This is beautiful, huh? Very, very beautifully put. So I have them written here. Yeah. First is a pure wish or intention. Yeah. Second is the state of inquiry. Don't worry, he explains it when we go down. Yeah. Third is the mind becoming subtle. Fourth is establishment in the truth. Yeah. Fifth is total freedom from attachment. Attachment here means what? Both raga and dvesha. Remember this, huh? Both raga and dvesha I become free from. Sixth is cessation of objectivity. And 7th is beyond all this. Huh? Beyond all this is, again, reaching the Turiya Avastha, which cannot be put in words. So I just read them out to you. Now we will read this in detail and understand this in detail. What does he mean by 7 states of wisdom? What does he mean? Yeah, somebody who is in the sleep state, dull inert state, when he meets a master like Gurudev, or he falls upon the spiritual knowledge, or there is an inner awakening. It can happen in different ways, right? Yeah, there is the Gyan Marg, there is the Bhakti Marg, and there is the Karma Marg. It varies from individual to individual what clicks where, in whom. Yeah. So here he beautifully describes what happens then? What happens? Let's read. Why do I continue to be a fool? I shall seek holy men and scriptures, having cultivated this passion. Such a wish is the first state. What is the wish? Why do I continue to be a fool? A fool who is lost in this Maya or ignorance. I shall seek holy men and scriptures, or company of the truth, company of this Sangha who meets every week to read a scripture, to work on their own mind and emotions, to understand their own spiritual self, to meditate and become silent. Any of these wishes that you have had, that is the first state. So, question for you. Have you reached this first state? Has this wish arisen in you? Ask yourself this. Homework number 1. Which state are you in? And I'm sure for most of you, this state is past. You have already reached this state long time ago. Hannah? Right? Yeah. We'll read ahead. Thereupon, one engages in the practice of inquiry. Inquiry means direct observation. Second, inquiry is direct observation. What is observation? We did, in Ashtavakra. Observing my own mind, thoughts are coming and going. My emotions are rising and falling. Who am I? I can see the mind, so I am not the mind. I can see the emotions rise and fall, so I am not the emotions. I can see what is happening in the body, so I am separate from the body. That is why I can see it. Oh, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the emotions, I am not the intellect, I am not the memory. Who am I? This second stage is the stage of inquiry or direct observation. You have all reached there, isn't it? Have you reached there? Ask yourself this question. This is your homework number 2. Okay, have you reached the stage of inquiry? With all these, there arises non-attachment. Non-attachment, dispassion, vairagya starts happening. Take your mind back to 2 years, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. How many of years ago before you came into the knowledge? How was the mind? Very interested in this, very interested in that. Today, that interest has become very mild, very lukewarm. You're not so feverish about that thing anymore. It might be a small thing, video game, computer game, or it might be something like your own big mansion, or you're so feverish about name, fame, and now you see that has become very lukewarm, mild. That is the meaning. With all these, there arises non-attachment, and the mind becomes subtle and transparent. This is the third state. The mind becomes subtle and transparent means what? Earlier you were so lost in the mind, you could not see the difference between the mind and I. I thought I am the mind. Yes? And I was lost in this world. The world took me up, Vishwam took me up, I went up. Vishwam took me down, I went down. I kept going up and down. My graph went up and down. Super excitement, super depression. Super excitement, super depression. Yes? Because I identified with the mind. At third state, what happens? There is a separation. And then this mind becomes subtle and transparent. I can see through now. Oh, this is happening and my mind is doing all this. I am separate. Got it? This is the third stage. Homework number 3 for you. Are you there yet? For some people, it could be a past. Yes, I have crossed this. Ask yourself this question. Today's session is very important. It is a self-introspection. Yeah? Going through your own self, going through your own years of spiritual study to see where have I reached. Yes? So, with all these there arises non-attachment and the mind becomes subtle and transparent. This is the third state. When these three are practiced, there arises in the seeker a natural turning away from pleasures, sense pleasures, and there is natural dwelling in truth. This is the fourth state. So what happens? You remember even in Ashtavakra Gita, Ashtavakra 25 or 26, where Janaka says, a natural dispassion has arisen. Earlier I was interested in lengthy conversations. Now that does not interest me so much. Earlier I was interested in the pleasures of this world, this Maya. He's talking about money, he's talking about sex, he's talking about name, fame. But now they don't interest me anymore. I have done many actions with this kaya, with this body, with this throat, as in speech, and with the mind. So he says, I have naturally become dispassionate. This is that state, the fourth state. Homework number 4 for you. Has dispassion naturally started arising within you towards these sense pleasures? Are you at that state yet? Yeah. For some wise people, it is past. Yes, I have seen this happen earlier. And I'm sure for most of you this has happened. But that does not mean that now the mind does not go into it at all. No, sometimes the mind, it's a tendency of the mind. But you have developed the skill to, divert the attention of the mind. Just like a little kid, a little baby. He has 100 toys at home, but when he goes to the market, no, I want that teddy bear right now. Even if he has 10 teddy bears at home, he wants that one. And then you divert his mind and show him, oh, look at that. See, so beautiful. Such a nice tree. All nice jingle bells. You divert his attention and then he forgets about that teddy bear. It's the same thing. Have you developed that skill to divert the attention of your mind? This flirting mind that gets lost in some sense object, have you learned to divert its attention? That is homework number 4 for you. 4? A natural turning away from the sense pleasure. That's the fourth state, that's the fourth homework. Clear so far? Yes? Absolutely clear, the first 2 paragraphs up till the fourth state. Now we will move on to the fifth state. Now in the fourth state, when you are diverting the mind from the sense pleasures, you are establishing in the truth. What is this establishment in truth? What truth are we talking about? All this is changing. Everything is temporary. This is all Maya. Yes, there is just one truth, that we are all one consciousness, one Purusha. It is that one consciousness doing everything and experiencing everything. I am not the doer, I am not the experiencer even. This is being established in the truth. Sakshi Bhav. Being a witness to all that is happening. Yes? Yes, slowly it will start being more stable. But has it even started happening for you? That you have to see. That is your homework number 4. Are you able to withdraw from the sense pleasure and establish in the center? Yeah? It doesn't matter. Sometimes your mind gets lost in that sense pleasure again, and again bring it back. Like you bring the child back again and again and again, and slowly the child forgets the toy or that small little pleasure. It thought that it's going to get great pleasure by eating that one candy. You also were like that, right? Yes. State 4 clear? We'll move ahead. When all these are well practiced, there is total non-attachment, and at the same time a conviction in the nature of truth. This is the 5th state. Yeah? Conviction is different from you just practicing to bring it back. Huh? The 5th state is an offshoot of the 4th state. If you are really doing this again and again, the 4th state is bringing the mind back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Yeah? Naturally it's happening because of this knowledge. Yeah, and it's easier because of the knowledge to come back. When you practice this again and again and again, you reach the 5th state where there is a conviction in the nature of the truth. Yes? A total freedom from attachment happens here. This is very beautiful. Yeah? When there is a conviction that everything is the consciousness. Yeah? What is this silly raga and dvesha? Why should I bother about this? Why should I care about this small little thing? Yeah? This becomes your nature. Yeah? How does nature develop of a person? Yeah? Thought leads to action. Repetition of an action again and again becomes a habit, and that habit is nothing but one's nature. That's what we call people's nature. Yeah? So, we started with the thought level. Purification of the mind leads to actions accordingly. Purified actions. Yeah? Good karma, being in the company of wise people, doing the right thing, choosing the spiritual goal over a material aspiration. Yes? Giving importance to my own self-growth, my own spiritual growth. When this becomes a practice, bringing the mind back again and again, what happens? With continuous practice, a conviction is there. An establishment in truth, complete conviction. And with that conviction, what happens? There is total freedom from attachment. Yeah? Does that mean that I don't talk to people in the house? I sit like that all grumpy. I'm not attached to my son, my daughter, my mother, father. Do I sit like this? No. Yeah? I am in this world. I work, I take care of the family. Yeah, whatever is required of me, from my family, from my friends, with everybody. I do whatever I need to do. I act spontaneously. Yes? I do not act out of raga and dvesha floating in the mind. They don't float in the mind anymore. Do you get that? That pure state of calmness in the mind. When the mind is not agitated, when there is a calm state, like a serene lake, that is freedom from attachment, freedom from raga and dvesha. This is a very beautiful state to attain, huh? This is something worth striving for. If you're feverish about name, fame, money, that won't get you that pleasure. That pleasure that you get from freedom from attachment. Freeing yourself from that feverishness for name, fame, pleasure, sex, relationships. What whatever, wherever the little mind is stuck. Yeah, this is the most beautiful and calm state. Clear? Yeah, we'll go ahead. Then one rejoices in one's own self. The perception of duality and diversity, both within oneself and outside oneself, ceases, and the efforts that one made at the inspiration of others bear fruition in direct spiritual experience. Yeah? At this state is where, yeah, you can say you have almost reached the door of Turiya. Yeah? You are qualified now. Yes? Till here, a lot of practice was required. Yeah? When you reach here, yeah, what happens? One rejoices in one's own self. Yeah? I don't look for joy in people, situations and things outside. Yes? I recognize the rejoicement is within me, is a part of me. It is, I am joy itself. Yeah? Then whatever the people, situations and things outside, whether good or bad, happy or sad, they do not shake me. Yes? I am sthir, sthita pragya. Remember we did it in Bhagavad Gita? Established in awareness. Sthita pragya. Yeah? So, in this state, the perception of duality. Duality is I and you, right and wrong, good and bad. All this goes away. And diversity. Diversity, oh, this is a good person, this is a bad person, this is a nice thing, this thing I don't like. Yeah, this is, you know, different kinds of prakriti, the diversity which I see right now. All this distinction drops away. Yeah, both within oneself and without. Outside I see in the world, but inside also I have a lot of duality and diversity. I may not say it, but inside I don't see that I am the Purusha. Yeah, I still think this mind is different, this body is different, this intellect is different. Yeah, where I see all this is one. Yeah, the same Purusha has manifested as different things. Yeah? I come to that understanding of a holistic understanding, a holistic experience rather than an understanding. It's not at the level of intellect. It is the experience. Yeah? That is what it means within oneself and outside oneself. And the efforts that one made at the inspiration of others bear fruition in a direct spiritual experience. Means you get a direct spiritual experience after this stage. After you are established at freedom from attachment, stage number 5. Now very beautiful, huh? Pay attention to the next paragraph. After this, there is no other support, no division, no diversity, and self-knowledge is spontaneous, natural, and therefore unbroken. This is the 7th. Yeah? So, cessation of objectivity happens in the middle. Cessation of objectivity is where I stop seeing diversity. Objectivity, you understand, na? I am the subject, you are the object. I am the subject, the computer is the object. I am the subject, the world, this Vishwam is the object. There is a complete cessation of objectivity outside and inside. This is the 6th state. After this 6th state is the description of 7th given, where there is no other support. Support means what? Object is a support for my mind. No? What is the food of the mind to exist? thought. And what is thought about always? I and you. Yeah, right and wrong, good and bad. All these are related to a sense object. When I stop seeing these sense objects in the world outside and look at it as all one consciousness, objectivity has ceased, right? And therefore support for that mind to exist has ceased. The mind becomes crippled, its legs are cut off. Yeah, the mind cannot move anymore. Mind becomes a dead mind. Yeah, like we did 2 pages earlier, we move from man to aman. Yeah, from mind to dead mind or no mind. There's a cessation of objectivity completely. Yes, so there is no other support. There is no division. Yeah, no I, no you. There is no diversity. Yeah, I don't see all the diverse forms anymore. I just see the one consciousness. And self-knowledge is spontaneous. It comes from within. Yeah. Then you don't need a scripture, a master, yeah, any external support for knowledge to be there in life. You are walking and talking knowledge. Yes. Knowledge is beaming out of you. You are radiating knowledge. Yeah, it is spontaneous. You do not need to be told something. Yes, it just comes from within. Yeah, it's a very beautiful state, the 7th. It is beyond all these. That's why it's not been given a name. It's just called beyond all these, the 7th. Yeah. Knowledge is spontaneous, natural, and therefore unbroken. This is the 7th. Beautiful state, na? Very well described. Yes? Are you there yet? Yeah. Ask yourself this. It is the transcendental state. This is the state of one who is liberated while living here. Yeah, you remember we've done this? Yeah, Jivan Mukta, liberated while living here. Yeah, I think in the first 15-20 pages of Yoga Vasistha or 30 pages, he described Jivan Mukta and Videha Mukta. You remember, no? So they are liberated while living in the body. You are still in the body. Yes, the body and the mind will go through its whatever karma of this lifetime because you came with that. Yeah, Sanchita, you remember, that which cannot be changed. Yeah, the mode of death, the longevity. Yeah, how long you are going to live in this body cannot be changed. Yeah, so the person will die at the time that was designated from the past Sanchita, and obviously the longevity will be till then. Yeah. But that part of life where he has reached the 7th stage and till the point of death, you call him a Jivan Mukta. He is liberated even while living. Yeah. So this is the state of one who is liberated while living here. Beyond this is the state of one who has transcended even the body. Yeah, Turyatita. Yeah, I talked about the Turiya state. It is after this. So this person who gets liberated while in this body, he does not come back into the world. He does not take these descending steps into Maya. Beautiful cycle, no? Yes? We started with the Maya descending steps and we went with the ascending steps. How you ascend higher into wisdom and you reach the Turiya Avastha. from where you do not come back into the cycle of birth and death. At least not out of your karma, or you don't go into Maya like this. Yes, like Gurudev, you come back. Yeah, do come back. Help us all to start walking these 7 ascending steps of wisdom. Yeah, come back to help us. Clear? We'll read the last sentence of this. Beyond this is the state of one who has transcended even the body. Turyatita. Yeah? Turyatita. New word for you. Turiya avastha. Yeah? The 4th state. Turiya word in Sanskrit itself means the 4th. The 4th. Yeah? So Turiya avastha is the 4th state, which is beyond the 3 states of consciousness of Jagrita avastha, Swapna avastha and Sushupta avastha. Beyond these 3 is the 4th, the Turiya avastha. And one who crosses these 7, goes beyond the 7th state, he is called Turyatita. Turyatita. Clear? Yes. These are the beautiful 7 states. Yeah. So now I'm sure you will have some questions. Please feel free to send me any questions on these 7 ascending and descending steps. Yeah, it is very important that you understand these very clearly. Yes. Go through them again. Your homework is to go through all these again in detail. Yes? Till you are not clear 100%, you will not go ahead. Yeah? So send me an email, earnestly do this homework, go through this 2 pages of steps again and see that you understand everything, every single step. Yeah? And if you have a question, you can send me an email.
Rama, all these great ones who ascend these 7 planes of wisdom are holy men. They are liberated and they do not fall into the mire of happiness and unhappiness. They may or may not work or be active. They rejoice in the self and they do not stand in need of others to make them happy. The highest state of consciousness can be attained by all, even by animals and by primitive men, by those who have a body and even by disembodied beings, for it involves only the rise of wisdom. They who have reached the highest planes of consciousness are indeed great men. They are adorable. Even an emperor is like a worthless blade of grass compared to them, for they are liberated here and now.
Yes, this is so beautiful, na? Yeah, the highest state of consciousness can be attained by all, even by animals. This is very important, huh? Till now you thought that, only human birth is capable of attaining enlightenment. But here Vasistha is saying that it can be attained even by animals. They who have reached the highest planes of consciousness are indeed great men. They are adorable. Yes. Last homework for you today. Are you adorable? Yeah. Homework for you. Just read page 100 and 101. Yeah. And revise these 7 ascending and descending steps again. Yes? Once you revise the 7 ascending and descending steps, create a flow chart and email it to me. Yes? That way I know you have understood it well. And write it in your own language, not in Vasistha's language. Okay? Chalo. I'll see you next week. Jai Gurudev.